Hi everybody, welcome to January 20th to January 26th of 2020. We're going to be pulling general messages for all the signs, but we're going to front load with astrology like I did last time. I'm going to timestamp below in the description box. If you're not interested in this part, I'm going to go through a couple of transits that are happening in the sky, and then I'm going to pull a couple of astrology tarot cards, the Black Moon Tarot, for the general messages, and then I'm going to get into each of the signs. Okay, so starting on the 20th, we have the sun entering Aquarius, guys, at 9:54 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just apply that time to wherever you are on the planet. So the sun's going to be in Aquarius from the 20th of January to the 18th of February. And during this cycle, we're going to be especially motivated by a hunger for knowledge. Knowledge, experience, originality, something different, innovation, doing things outside of the box, that box that we normally function in. It's just more important to us than doing things as we have been, or maybe how we should be, because it is Aquarius. It's really out of the box, right? We are becoming more aware in this energy of what's outdated in our lives, and we'll be pushing to find new perspectives and new approaches to ways of doing things. To just structure, think about the structure that we've been feeling, right? Under Capricorn, right? It's been like very structure. There are like class distinctions. There's a sense of order that Capricorn finds really appealing, and that we really needed, right, to get this ball rolling, but now seems to be a bit too rigid to all of us. So the freedom of self and the individual is becoming really more important to all of us right now. And we're all feeling it in different areas. I did mention the houses that we're all going to be, and I've mentioned the houses in a couple of videos now at this point, that we're all going to be working through this year. So think about what I'm saying in relation to whatever house it is, right? So if you're Cancer, everything that I'm saying, you're going to be thinking about how to do relationships differently. If you're Virgo in your fifth house, you're going to be thinking about your hobbies and things that you do for fun differently. And you're going to be looking at your relationship with your children differently, right? It depends on, where this is placed. Okay. And I'm just going to keep talking about it probably for the rest of the year. So, but it's really about us striving to free ourselves from some restrictions and inhibitions and limitations that just feel really, really constraining rather than safe. Because for a minute it felt safe, but now it's not safe anymore, And then on the 24th, we have the new moon. New moon in Aquarius, 4:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the new moon in Aquarius marks the beginning of a new cycle for sure. The Capricorn new moon cycle ends, and this new moon cycle begins. And in Aquarius, it's friendship, group activities, socials pursuit, any sort of group gatherings, projects, trying something new, joining a new group, any sort of humanitarian effort actually even falls under this, but all of these things are going to be more of a focus than they have been. So there are new beginnings regarding any of these areas, right? Just really getting out there and getting involved in stuff. And this is a time during which we should solve problems that require thinking outside of the boxes, as I've been talking about. Really look to the future with a brand new positive and hopeful vision. Brainstorm, socialize, just focus on how things are going to be just moving forward, and expressing platonic love for those around us, and giving our emotions and our passions a break as we develop more objectivity and some detachment from past hurts and past haunts, and just connecting with friends, guys. Like seriously, if you don't have friends, then it could be your family, it could be your colleagues, but it's really embracing, friends, family, neighbors, any group activity, anything like that really can be focused on here in such a beautiful way, right? So reaching out to people in your social circle, reaching out to your tribe, and just like recognizing here the value of those friendships and those networks. And also, though, recognize at some level, guys, these people are kind of like your ticket out of, I'm going to call it stage one. I'm going to call January stage one. It's month one, it's stage one of this new shift into this new life, into this new cycle. And I know we've all been feeling it. Oh my gosh, right? It's been big. It's been big. Obviously, depending on where it's hitting you, it's going to be a little more ground shaking than for others, but you definitely want to be looking at your rising sign for this one, guys, for sure. Absolutely. All right. But these friends and family members and our group are going to be helping us to be able to have a sense of detachment from whatever is challenging us to break away from, because there is this breaking away, right, with Saturn and this transformation with Pluto. So we're really going to be needing to rely on our friends, our family, our hobbies, other activities to pivot our thoughts and our attentions to just give us a breather so we can start to heal and move. It's stage one. It's stage one. And with this potent Aquarius energy, we have the chance to make progressive changes in our lives. For some of us, circumstances are such that we need to pay more attention to these matters rather than divert our attention. It does depend on the placement. Now, this phase of the moon is going to be happening at 4 degrees and 22 minutes of Aquarius, affecting people born with personal planets and points at approximately 0 to 8 degrees of the fixed sign. So that would be Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius most significantly. We're all going to be feeling it, but those 4 signs and those degrees are going to be feeling it really much more profoundly, okay, than anyone else. So let's pull a couple of Black Moon Tarot to get a collective message of what we have as we enter this last part. I'm calling it the last part of phase 1 here. 3rd house, okay. It's about communication, messages. This has to do with Mercury, right? So especially like Gemini and Virgo. Saturn, well, of course. Oh, Saturn, I don't know. I'm getting a little tired of you now. And it just started. Okay, so we have Saturn and we have 3rd house messages, okay? So the 3rd house messages, again, anything mercurial. So this is how you think, feel, write, communicate, anything like that. This is you needing to look at how you're communicating, assess if you're communicating effectively enough, if you are not being too harsh, if you need to change things up in the way you communicate. Now, the fact that we got the 3rd house with Saturn says that you're going to be getting in touch here in this 3rd house energy with something that's very old and outdated. Saturn does that anyway, but you're going to be getting messages, synchronistic messages coming into your life that's really going to be highlighting what really needs to go, what like literally has become like necrotic. Do you know what I mean? Like dying skin. I hate to say it like that, but it's kind of like that in a way. It takes a long time to happen, but when it happens, it just starts to like fall off, right? So this is what's really happening here. And Saturn with the truth, I mean, this says it might feel bad now, but it's going to be resolved. Saturn's the planet, it's the planet of the Reaper, the Lord of Karma. And this, it's a rainbow planet, represents what's tangible and solid in our lives. The Greeks called Saturn Kronos. So a lot of you guys might have heard Kronos and Saturn being used interchangeably. So we could thank the Greeks for that. And Kronos was the father of Zeus. And Kronos devoured his children to prevent losing his throne as the king of the gods. So Saturn in astrology is often referred to as the god who ate his own children. Isn't that lovely, right? Because of the energy of this planet seems to show no mercy. But Saturn is not exactly cruelty. It simply points out what's true and cuts away what's delusional or no longer useful in our life. So, this is definitely a time where you're going to feel challenged. We're all feeling it anyway. This is like, I'm like preaching to the choir here. You guys all know this. But it's time to make it or break it, guys, for real. I mean, the fact that this came up is important. Life may seem harsh and very restrictive right now. The truth of the matter is you're facing an enemy who may be yourself right now. And Saturn shows us that at times it's in our better interest, not to have those things we want. And that if we were to have them, it could only ultimately lead to our destruction. And that really is so true. So if this is a time for any of you where you're feeling sad, or if you're feeling hopeless, realize that it's all about the diligence and sticking to what you believe in, adhering to your goals, to what you know is right. As this is a period in your life that emphasizing toughness and work is really important. It's all about not giving up and following through, and there's so much goodness on the other side of this. So much good. So we're going to be looking at stuff that's got to go. Yep, that's what we have, and that is the astrology section, guys. Let's pull some cards. Hi, Gemini. Thank you so much for sticking around. Let's get right to your messages. General messages for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Guys, definitely make sure you check your rising sign, okay? Get a lot of good information from that in particular. Put all the signs for sure. And try not to make these messages fit. If they don't, I'm sorry, it may not be your reading this time around, right? I'll possibly get all of you each time, right? Wish I could, but I can't. All right, so let's go with the messages that Gemini needs to hear. Gemini, messages Gemini needs to hear. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. No place like home. Nice. It's all about authenticity for you this week, Gemini. Authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home just in your own skin. It's really feeling comfortable in your own skin. And isn't that just amazing when we do that, right? Because that's where we can claim our dignity and our integrity, aspects of yourself that no one could take away from you. You're definitely going to be tapping into really who you are, knowing who you are, holding your head high. But you're doing this not with pride nor humility. Instead, it's more of like an objectivity that you're being able to take on, where you stand as the observer, seeing through the eyes of your soul. And this is going to put you in a position of power and strength. And this ends up creating a lot of prosperity in life, Gemini. I've seen this over and over again. It's just when we act in an authentic way, we command the world to reflect back to us exactly what's in our highest good. So whether this has to do with business choices or investments you make or creative projects you immerse yourself in, just being really powerfully on point. And the reason here is because when you're fully yourself, radically accepting everything that's been on your journey to date, both the successes and the failures, the ugly and the pretty, you're going to see divinity in everything. Abundance is kind of this natural progression from this energy, you know? It definitely is. And if you feel like you're struggling with this a little bit and you're like, Jackie, and not so much, listen, I know. I mean, there are times when what's familiar and known is not the best choice. Keeping it real. We just have to know that. Because there's change happening here. I mean, human beings, right? As human beings, we are memory-driven creatures. And we all look for certainty. Do we not? You know, for what we know. Even if the qualities that we seek in other people and in the external conditions are expressed in very unhealthy ways, as is too often the case, right? So avoid being too eager here to find that sense of home. Choose something unfamiliar and trust. You just have to have a certain amount of trust that you're going to find a new normal that supports your spirit. And remember, if you keep doing what you did, you'll get what you got. So do the opposite of what feels right, even if it's uncomfortable, because what feels right is really what feels familiar, and you will attract and be drawn to the very things that you don't want anymore, right? So this time will not be different unless you do something different, right? Yeah. Good message, I think. To get right into your spread, Celtic Cross. General messages, relationship, job, family, friends, depends where you're at. And then right after that, we will pull a love only with a bunch of oracles and some qualifiers. Okay. A bunch of oracles and some qualifiers. Yeah, I mean, this Aquarius energy is a really nice energy to get this card in. because it's about doing things out of the box other than we normally do. But isn't that, I know, it's not easy. It's really not. Really not. You gotta keep saying, change is good, it's good, it's good. We're growing, we're growing. Seven of water as, right? Come on now. Seven of water. What's in those two cups? I don't know. I know it's in the five of those cups. I don't know what's in those two. All right, let me pull the cards. For goodness sake. Okay. All right. Sorry, I feel like this took me a long time to pull them. I don't know why. All right, so the Seven of Waters, we know what's in Five of the Cups. We don't know what's in two. This is the foundational energy for the week. So it's knowing, okay, there are two things you don't know. There are two cups that you don't know about. You don't know, oh my gosh, Gemini, you are so uncomfortable right now because you don't know what is around the bend. You feel the change is happening. You're front and center to them. There's no denying it. You have no idea what's on the other side. And there's this low level, maybe not so low level, anxiety that accompanies this vibe because there's fear about where everything is going. It's okay. It's okay if you feel like that. Because chances are what you're making in those other two cups to have in them is probably a whole lot more scary than it would be in reality. So try not to fill in information that you don't have access to right now. And I know that's not going to be easy because you're being crossed by the Three of Swords, which is the card of pain. It's a card of pain, and there's some betrayal here as well. I mean, it doesn't have to be, betrayal can happen in the most subtle forms, guys, but where you just feel like you were betrayed on something that had to do with your heart space. So this can be someone cheated on you. This can be someone chose someone else over you. If you were talking about relationships, this could be someone just simply not being as committed as you in a relationship. Their mask falling off out of nowhere and you're realizing that they are not the person that you thought they were. This could be somebody being super irresponsible with money. Okay, that could have to do with a business connection, or that could have to do with a family, friend, intimate connection. But it's just this idea of something was done that really, really hurt you, that was perceived as a betrayal. A betrayal of your love, a betrayal of your trust. This could certainly have to do with work as well, particularly for those of you in a business partnership kind of situation. I'm vibing that very strongly. But even if you're just sort of in a corporate environment, even at that, it's like things are going on, things are being said, you're feeling the change, you're feeling the vibe, like below your feet. You feel that the axis, everything is shifting, right? And then you find out about this thing that ended up really being very hurtful. That's really putting you in a position of wondering if you even want to move forward in it. And the thing is, whatever this is, though, you actually really love them, or love this job, love this friend, love this family member. But there's love here, Gemini. You love this person, but they are the Emperor reverse, or you are the Emperor reverse, and vibing that you're dealing with an Emperor reverse. And this is somebody who, yes, it can indicate somebody who is just the hell off the rails altogether. They could be cheating. This indicates a lot of deflection, gaslighting, disrespect. And I want to just kind of leave it there. Like, let's label it as treating you disrespectfully, not considering you in the way that they should be, not being honest about situation when it's very clear how something rolled out, taking liberties with deflection, trying to make it seem like you did something that you did not do, that you incited something that you did not incite. Absolutely. And that's the foundation of this here. So it's this almost I mean, toxic is coming to mind, but it's almost like a cantankerous kind of toxic, where it's like there's just a negative energy. This person is negative, and here you are, the king of water. You know, Gemini, so forgiving you guys are. Even if you're saying hells to the bells, no, whatever, right? There's still this thing, right? There's still this pull. There's still this connection to this person, to this situation, because you are the king of water. The king of water is all about love, loving unconditionally, and just wanting to work things out. And then we have the Six of Fire, which is the Six of Wands in the past, reversed. So listen, I mean, there's just a lack of respect here. And the Six of Wands reverse is a lack of respect, a lack of victory. You've been really feeling very disrespected. And I want you to put it in context with the original tarot, right? When this card was originally created. It was originally created to represent, in the upright, the soldiers coming back from war, you know, on the horse, and everybody like, yay, you know, you are awesome. Thank you for like fighting for us and saving us and being fabulous, right? And just giving due regard, respect, celebrating a victory, celebrating a person for doing something really good and for just being them. It's like this wonderful card of acceptance, and it's in the reverse in your past when it comes to this situation or this person. Right now, the Ace of Fire. You have so much fire in your belly for a new beginning. It's just like popping. You very much would like a new beginning. You're feeling an incredible amount of passion. Now, I don't know if it's with this person or just in general. Let's see. And then we have the Page of Fire in reverse. So this is an external energy that is impacting you. So you want this new beginning, but you're dealing with this Page of Fire. So Page is the child of the court, which indicates, first of all, it could be somebody who's very immature and cut off from you, very immature and being very argumentative with you, very manipulative. This is a very manipulative type of energy. But the Page also at the same time represents a new cycle within something that already exists. So in the reverse, though, this indicates that this is not going to be a new start within a cycle with this person, and that they're very immature, and that they're very manipulative. There's a manipulative vibe about this for sure. And this is an external influence to you, which I feel like Gemini is making you be like, all right, gotta go. It's time for me to start something new. Like, I love you so much. I love this job so much. Family member, I love you. Friend, I love you, but I need to love you from a distance, because this is just not okay with me. Super not okay with me. And then we have your fear position, which is the Eight of Water reverse. And this does indicate you're afraid of this walking away and letting go once and for all of something. Oh, Gemini. I know. It's so scary, isn't it? Because you just don't know. But you have to do it. Gemini. Because look what your outcome is, my friend. The Two of Cups. This is sharing something in the heart space with somebody. If this is not an intimate relationship, this is you making a really solid new friendship. This is you figuring stuff out with your family. This is finding a job that super speaks to your soul in a beautiful, loving way, really, where you feel like you're going to be an effective contributing member of society, and you're going to enjoy and truly love what you're doing at the same time, which is a lovely energy. But we have the Four of Air. So there's just so much truth that's happening right now for you. There's so much coming at you that's really fighting for a strong foundation, and a strong foundation of truth. I mean, and this is just, but there's this new beginning. There's a new beginning in your heart space here. There's no question. There's no question. Now, I don't know if it's with this person or not. So let's see. Let's pull some cards and see. I mean, it may be different for all of you, but let me get some answers. I don't like anything that open-ended. It bothers me. It bothers me. You would think I had like a lot of Virgo in me, but I really don't. For there. Yeah. I mean, this is really like just trying to grab the lessons and move forward. Now, for some of you guys, honestly, the outcome here could be some of you might be starting therapy. You might be starting with a new therapist, you know, or some kind of support group, or, you know, joining anything that really ends up bringing you any sort of support that you need in moving forward, which I think is really awesome, just so awesome, right? But you're taking a break. You're taking a time out. Gemini, I feel like a lot of you are like not rushing into anything. Not rushing into anything, which I think is really awesome. As a lot of the Geminis I've been dealing with absolutely have been just like peeling back layer by layer and really looking at everything, which is so good. I don't feel like that's where Gemini's been for quite a while. It's very easy for Geminis to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to sit and work on myself. And then like, you know, twin A is like, I'm going to sit and work on myself. And then twin B comes along and is like, yeah, but you know, don't you want to go out to dinner and like go check out what's going on the other side of town? You're like, all right, you know, so it's like short-lived. It's very easy to pull Gemini out of that headspace, but I feel like you guys are very committed to really kind of like cleaning up your backyard before your eclipse season hits, your eclipse axis hits in July. I mean, come on. I'm clarifying for the Two of Water, and we have the Ace of Air. So this is all about a new truth coming in. A new truth coming in. Absolutely. Four of Fire, Four of Wands. Yeah, listen. All right. I mean, Gemini, for those of you resonating with this, I'm going to tell you what I'm getting, okay? This is a very specific message for a handful of you. Either I'm getting two narratives, so I have to give both. Okay. I have a feeling that if this Emperor reverse energy was somebody who you were dealing with and you were the King of Water, or maybe they were the King of Water and you were the Emperor reverse, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. You were feeling very like in your belly and fired up to actually just be like, once and for all, I am done with this. I'm done with this, right? Because they were being incredibly, incredibly immature. But there was this missing. You're having a hard time letting go, and I feel like they circled back around and they really want to offer you their cup. Now, this is the thing. You might be offering them the cup. There is new truth coming in here that's going to lead to a very, very strong foundation. And the reason this is happening is because of the deep nostalgia of the Six of Water energy. This is deep nostalgia. Okay? But now this is the thing. With the Six of Water in reverse, the nostalgia for a way thing was once before, we tend to put those rose-colored glasses on ourselves and remember things a lot more positively in the rearview mirror than they were in reality. And the truth of the matter is, because we're not remembering things right, this is really not the healthiest for us. And it's kind of what I was saying before about if you keep doing the same thing the same way. I mean, isn't that the definition of insanity, they say, right? I mean, it's so cliche, but we all know that, right? And what's the definition of insanity? Is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right? So I feel like there's recognition of that. But when I mention the Four of Air, I feel like a lot of you are going to be going for couples counseling, some sort of counseling, therapy, or some sort of program, something to try to help the relationship. Reaching outside of the confines of your relationship, doing things differently in this Aquarius energy, not doing things the same. Even if it means going and get a relationship help book and reading it together, you know, the languages of love, any of those where you can actually, you know, put it into effect in real time. Absolutely. So that's what I'm getting for a number of you. Others of you, I'm getting that you're actually walking away. And you are walking away with a heavy heart, but you are meeting somebody new. Okay? And there's going to be a new truth where you're going to be with the person and you're going to like, I didn't know it could be this beautiful. I didn't know it could be like this. And this is going to be the right person for you. Absolutely. And Gemini, you guys are slated astrologically to really seriously be kicking it in love this year. You really, really are. You have that long Venus placement. We're going to talk about it more when it gets closer. But I mean, from the spring into the summer, it's a long Venus placement. We have a lot going on. We really do. So beautiful new start, foundation. This is the card of engagement and marriage. Solid foundation. 6 of 4. I mean, you guys are missing each other. You're missing each other. Now, this is the thing. If you're with somebody new, you're listening, Gemini? If you're with somebody new, they're offering you this fabulous new beginning and this wonderful foundation, and you're still going back in your mind to the person that you were with. Leave them in the past. They're not coming forward with you. Unless this person has an epiphany and they can pull themselves out of whatever it is that they were thinking, feeling, doing, whatever it is, there's just no way that they're going to be able to turn this around. But that's what I'm saying, like with the therapy or some sort of external help. So that's what I'm getting. It is a relationship. Now, if this has to do with a job, I mean, kind of the same thing goes with the narcissistic type of energy here and all of that. You having the fire in your belly to get into something new, and you just hitting these roadblocks with this immature energy, but you being afraid to leave your job. You know, you being afraid to leave your job. But then you're going to end up having this new offer come in, and it's just going to speak to you so much more, just more beautifully as far as it speaks to your integrity, it speaks to your moral code, your moral compass, and just your heart, what you want. It's more your truth. Yeah. And it's going to end up being a really solid position. If you're transitioning into another position, it's going to be very, very solid. You're going to find points at which you feel nostalgic for your old position, but it's only because you're feeling vulnerable and insecure over the newness of this job. And that's really all it is. So don't overthink it. Don't overthink that. Okay. Okay, that's what we have for that. That's what we have for that. It's all about doing things differently. Doing things differently. Okay. So let's pull a Whisper of Love's Oracle. And then we'll do 3 Heart. And then we'll do an Island Time Wellness. Love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. This is a really good thing to remember when we're feeling kind of bummed out about all of these changes that we need to make. Love is all around you. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we need to remember that, you know? It's so simple to forget that when we're caught up in any kind of pain or any kind of discord in our life. Feeling caught up in that web, you know. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, when you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. Beautiful. Let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. The past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. All very positive. It's all very positive. But that's very general. And you know me, those of you watching me, I don't love general, so we have to get into the gritty. So we could always count on the Island Time Wellness to give us a little slap of reality. And then we'll pull a couple of qualifiers, okay? All right. Wedding rings. Healthy choices. Karmic relationship. Okay. Well, amen, right there. Wedding rings, union, wedding, marriage, soul connection, eternal love, everlasting promise. I don't think I need to explain that, right? Healthy choices, making healthy choices in love and in life, self-love, self-care, and just being happier. How beautiful. Karmic relationship. Oh, can't we relate with this, Gemini? Fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go and loving you. Letting go and loving you. Let's see what happened here. Letting go and loving you. Yeah. So there was no movement going forward. I mean, you guys were at an impasse for sure. An impasse for sure. We got 2 of Wands, 2 of Swords. You guys were at cross purposes with yourself, and there was no definitive movement forward, and you didn't see building into this next stage. 7 of Pentacles reverse is building into that next stage. It is the stage of the apprentice, being able to start something new. And there was a holding back. There was a holding back of communication. There was a holding back of truth, even if it's not malicious truth, just your truth. Yeah, a holding back of connection. And then we have the Knight of Swords comes in with a definitive truth. And then we have the Judgment energy. Nice. I like it. Can always count on these last 3 cards to give. It's so consistent how this happens. It's crazy. So the King of Swords energy is coming in and just really speaking all kinds of truth. All right. This is also certainly a message coming in. So this could be getting a phone call, getting a text message, an email from somebody, but somebody reaching out to you with a truth, wanting to have conversation, wanting to have communication, because that's what Swords is. It's a Mercury. It's air energy, so it's ruled by Mercury, which is all about communication. And then we have the Judgment, which is about forgiveness, but it's about evaluating before you forgive. You know what I mean? It's like you guys are talking about what happened, but towards healing, not towards fighting, rather than pointing a ton of fingers and all of that. That's so counterproductive, right? It's having a discussion toward healing. Then we have the Moon energy, and I love this here. I do like the Moon card, because the Moon card is getting in touch with the deep recesses of stuff, of why things happen. It really is the underbelly, that soft part of why we do what we do. That's really what it is. I don't view it as, I view this less as a card of secrets, and there's so much malice in that. I think this is a very positive card because it indicates the people involved getting raw and real and deep, and allowing themselves to be vulnerable, and looking at parts of themselves that they did not know to look at before, or were too afraid. But I want you to notice in this card, if you can, well, first of all, it's Cancer energy, so you get the crab there, right? But I want you to see that path. That's a new path. That's a new path. Under the guidance of this moon is the ability to find a new path away from here, away from where we're not supposed to be. Okay? So very positive, I think. And I think that is what's going to end up bringing up here to you guys having this absolute sheer sense of appreciation for each other, for those of you who are in this space. Now, this can absolutely apply also if you guys are in a committed relationship already, and you guys maybe just going through a weird span of time. It happens to the best relationship. It's the ebb and flow of it all. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you guys were not in contact and now you're going to be in contact again. Really, I'm looking at this as this could be any stage of a relationship that's just going through transformation, you know, and growing, because I get a lot of love here. So I feel like there's stuff being figured out. Yeah, good stuff. I like it. Gemini, thanks so much for joining me. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.